Fanfic Corner, presented by Jennifer. Motherly Instincts, Part 4. The paths aren't recognizable on this map. The only way we can go is, Rayla grimaced at the thought, to go by boat. Come on, it won't be that bad. You've got me to protect you now. I'll hold your hand, Callum said softly while smirking. Wow, such a gentleman, Rayla remarked sarcastically. Hey, I see a boat. What way do we need to travel? Ezran shouted. Northeast. Then we have to walk a little way. Then we need to head back north, back on the river, Rayla said. Callum grabbed her hand and pulled her into the boat. Everyone could see she had a very uneasy look on her face. Come on, Ray. This is for Ez, Callum said, calmly but surely. I know, it's just... Callum cupped her cheeks with his hands. I understand you don't like boats and water, but we can do what we've done last time. I'll ask you 5 questions, and it'll take your mind off the water. He smiled. Yeah, you remember what happened after? We got attacked by a deep-sea creature, Rayla said, slightly giggling. But the very manly prince in front of you called upon the gods of sky, and they gave me the power to defeat the evil monster of the sea, Callum said, a profound look of confidence on his pasty face. Rayla shoved his shoulder and laughed. Ezran ran up to them and shouted at them. Hey, are you two done? Can we go now? Come on. He pulled both their arms and they fell into the boat. They yelped, but all of them started laughing. This is nice, Ellis said, while leaning her head on her boyfriend's shoulder. Ezran held his arm protectively around her slim waist. Yeah, they were at the end of the boat watching the sunset. Don't get used to it, you two. You have adult work to do now, Rayla smirked absent-mindedly from the front of the boat, where Ellis and Ezran couldn't see her. And you can't forget the kingdom you have to run now as well, Callum chuckled, joining in with Rayla's teasing. You always have to run the moment, don't you? Ezran said, half joking, half serious. Well, someone has to keep an eye on you, just in case you end up in a situation you don't want to be in. Callum winked and laughed, rocking the boat as he did so. The 2 young adults blushed and scowled at the older adults. Thanks for ruining this heartwarming moment with my girlfriend. Now, if you don't mind, I would like to get some shut-eye, Ezran said, turning on his side and cuddling up to Ellis. Ellis was doing the same as she giggled to something Ezran had muttered. Callum rolled his eyes and turned back to his wife. They remind me of us, when we were younger, when we were kids, Rayla whispered, looking back at them. A sad smile plastering her face. Yeah, hey, what's wrong? Callum took his wife's hands in his own and frowned at the sudden mood change that was evident with Rayla. It's just, we never talked about what happens after every adventure we do. We never have any plans for the future. Babe, when has having a plan ever worked for us? Callum placed his hand on Rayla's jawline and rubbed his thumb over her cheek. Rayla leaned into his hand and closed her eyes and chuckled quietly. You know that's not what I meant. We hardly ever talk about us and what we, together, are going to do once we get back home. Sure, we spend every minute of every day together. But we never think out us and our future. If we aren't saving Catullus, we're out saving Zadia. And if we aren't doing that, we're helping Ezran with the kingdom. We have no apparent plans for our future. That can change. What do you want to do when we get home? We could have a picnic, or a festival, or maybe... Callum was interrupted by Rayla's finger on his lips and a shy smile on hers. I want to have a family. A faint blush appeared on her cheeks. It was darker now, so that it was a bit hard to see, but Callum had a shocked face to replace his old facial expression. It's a silly idea. I know it's stupid to think a human and an elf could ever raise a child. I'm sorry. Once Callum has left his trance, he looked at Rayla with newfound love for her and gently grabbed her face and kissed her passionately. He placed his forehead on hers and wiped her small tears away. Don't be sorry, love. If you're ready for a family, then so am I. I love you, and I always will. Callum, I love you too, but there's one thing that bothers me. What's that, my darling? What if I can't produce a child? Or what if the child wasn't what everyone expects it to be? Or... This time Rayla was shut up by Callum's lips on her own. Honey, it doesn't matter what our child looks like, as long as we show it love and give it a good life to live. And if you can't produce a child of our own, then we can just adopt. There's no harm in that, dear. Please stop worrying. It doesn't suit you. Callum kissed his wife's cheek. I guess you're right. Now, get some sleep. Rayla watched as Callum snuggled up to her and fell into a calming sleep. You really need it, she whispered when he was asleep. Callum had been up the past few nights filing paperwork with Ezran, but doing way more than either of them were supposed to do, and doing Ezran's share of the paperwork so he could enjoy life, and during that time he lost a lot of sleep. Rayla had stayed in her thoughts about a family with Callum for a whole night, just holding Callum close and watching the